Okay, I'm going to do a intake manifold gasket and the knock sensors. First thing I did was remove the battery only because it's dead, has some parasitic drain. I'm going to remove this alternator. It looks like it's just 2 bolts and a couple connections just to make it easier to pull that manifold out and get to these things. But the first thing I did was, that's the number 8. I'll pull that off of there. And then I already loosened this air box, which was pretty tough to get off. It was heat shrunk to this thing, so it was pretty frozen on there. But there you go. You get those 2 pieces off. Now it looks pretty light. I saw from some instructions that there's a water hose. It comes into the radiator right there, so I'm gonna have to get this off and get that clamp off. Yeah, that's gonna have to come off. So I'm just gonna take this alternator off. It looks like it's a thing, so I gotta take the belt off. The belt has a tensioner, so I'm gonna pull that off, pull this off. That'll make it easier to get this out of here. I've seen some other ones. I probably don't need it off, but it's just gonna make it easier to work on. It'll only take me 2 minutes or so. All right, that'll make it a lot easier to work. Got these 2 number 15s. Had the electrical on the back, had the electrical on top. I have to do all those electrical and pull that out anyways. So now that we got all that stuff out of the way, what looks like we're aiming for are these screws. We got to get the incoming fuel off, so I need a tool for that I don't have. I'll have to disconnect all these electrical. Not sure. That's for the injectors, so there's 4 of those. I'm gonna work on getting this off next because we got to get this cover plate off to be able to take that electrical off. I guess I'll disconnect this so I don't have to break the tape. Sorry about that. So I'm going to take that screw out and those screws. Got to take this off. Got to be like centered to pull that off of there. Took that screw off. Took those 4. Pulled this off. Gonna have to pull that tab to get this little thingy off of there. Need 2 hands to do it. Pull that electrical off of that. Real simple. Now this whole assembly's off on this side and pretty much off on this side to pull that out of the way. So I see a brake vacuum line, which is this, which is moving around quite a little bit. We got this fuel that's got to come off. We got to disconnect the electrical off the injectors, all 8 of those. Got to get that thing off, which I'm not sure how to do, so we'll have to figure out that one. Don't want to break anything. So let's study that a few minutes and we'll get the rest of this stuff off. All right, I got to videotape this because this is retarded. This is the injector clip. In order to get this off the injector, you have to press that piece in right there and pull up on this outer sleeve. And that pulls out the safety clip. Then you have to press this down and pull it off the injector. So I haven't figured out another way, and then you just gotta aim that down in there, get the party started, and push it back on. Pretty retarded, but it's on there. See, it seems like you should be able just to pull up and release the safety, but I haven't been able to pull it off of that thing, I think because there's not enough room, that safety clip has to come out to get it off. I haven't figured that out, but so far I found it just easier just to pull that out all the way. Take it off if you need to, and then definitely store it back in there when you're storing it, because you don't want to lose that. Too complicated. Okay, I just got this one off with one hand and not pulling it out. First thing I did was just slide this up, and I just kept that held down and pulled it off. So let's see if I can do it with the next one here, just for the amazement of amazement. This little thing's in the way, so I'm just feeling for that tab, and I'm pulling up on the outer sleeve. So the outer sleeve is up, and I'm pushing in on that tab, and there we go. Came out one-handed. So you don't have to remove that tab. Let's try the next one. Okay, that's the sleeve pulled up. So that's up. Can't see it. Sorry about that. And there's pulling it off. Okay, the last one. We will do it. There it is. I'm gonna reach back there. One hand. Ow. Oh. I think somebody's already been in that one. Let's see. Nope, there we go. We pulled the sleeve up. So now the sleeve's up. I'll get back down in there. Press that little thing in, push it in, and pull it out. So they are able to get out with one hand, and you don't have to take them apart. You just have to press that in. When that's connected, you can separate it. See, there you go. Pull it up, and then you press in that tab, and boom, that's out. So there we go. We got all the injector loins, electrical lines off. And you gotta get this rubber hose off. That's easy enough. I've got to get this piece off so we can take it off there or there. So let me get some more stuff off. To these 6-8 bolts, and that should be about it for that to come off there, besides this water line. But I'm going to disconnect the water line right there and right there. Alright, one got the little thing. I got me a little star driver, and just like your car tire, I pushed in on this thing, and it actually fuel tiny bit sprayed out of there. So you're gonna have to look at that when you put that back together to make sure that that thing's sealed. I'm living dangerous, mixing up my stuff. Gonna try to keep that separate. Next thing you got. Alright, I did use this blue thing. It basically just opens up and slips around this pipe. And I used two hands. I used one to push on this part really hard on this section, to push it up in there to release the little 4 grabbers. And there you go. It's leaking fuel out backwards. It's a good thing I don't have battery or anything on there. And so pretty simple, too hard. Just gotta have the little tool or you'll never get it off. Looks like there's 4 teeth in there, so you kind of got to get all 4 teeth to release to pull that off. So now I'm gonna undo the 4 injector rail bolts, and we'll try to pull that off the top and pull those out of there. Okay, I'm gonna put these bolts back in just for my own. I won't show it in the video, but I don't think we need to take those off. I couldn't lift that off of there, so something's holding it. So we're just gonna go ahead and undo the main bolts We got this air hose here. So we got this air hose. They must sell a special tool to get these little pliers off. I've never been able. I had to spin that one around so I could grab it by those two pieces, and it's looks about ruined now. So I'm going to use two hands, make sure I don't ruin it any more than it is. Slide that off of there and get that one off. Alright, those other pliers didn't work to get that off. So we're going to try some needle nose pliers this time. That don't seem like it's working either. It's just aggravation and not. Well, the other videos that I watched said nothing came out of this radiator hose line. So I guess there's fluid in mine pretty good. So see if that will drain a little bit. Now I'm sure it's going to drain out more there when I take that one off. Yeah, it's definitely draining there into my little bucket. And I took this thing, once it's up higher than that, I just stuck it in that reservoir thingy, took the lid off. So we'll see how much comes out of there. We'll work on getting these other things off while that's draining a little bit and try to recover it. Alright, I was fiddling with this one and realized this has another safety clip. So you got to pull that safety clip back, then pull that and get that off. Pretty easy once you know the little secret. So alright, we got all these injector loins loose. Just kind of pulled them out of the way good because I don't want to have to mess with fighting that when I go to pull those off. So that side's all loose. I'm just gonna have to feed that off, and we got the two vacuum hoses, so let me work on those. All right, we have a vacuum hose here, these, and the brake hose. So let me do those, and that'll be the only thing holding this in will be these 4 bolts, so the 8 bolts. So let's try to get that out. This vacuum line, I was trying to take it off there, but it just really slipped right off of that one, which could be a potential problem for my vacuum leak all along. Just twisted it up there out of the way. So two more. We got this one to remove and that one. I'll get my hand out of the way. That vacuum line for this, so it would be better to disconnect it up there, even though, there you go, just remove it from there. But that's going to make it hard to fight that hose out of there, so I am going to go ahead and see if I can disconnect it back there. Okay, now when you undo these bolts, they don't really come out. Oh, I lied. Do they come out? Oh, they do, but they're weird. All right, I didn't think those came out, so we're going to just go ahead and try to remove them all like that. Interesting. That'll make it easier to get this out of here if we can just pull all these out of the... Which I'm not sure, it might leave a gasket or something under there. Maybe we won't pull those out. I don't know what's going on down in there, but if we can get them out, we'll get them out. Otherwise, we'll leave them in. All right, there were 5 on this side. 5 on this side. They were all easy to get out, except for this one right there. And I had to reach down in here because I couldn't get my fat hand down in there and lift that one out. And it's now in there. And I can't get it because my fat hand won't fit down in there. There you go. So that's all. 1, 2. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's one more. Missed one. Hopefully I can get that one. Missed it. Let me use 2 hands. All right, one of the videos I watched said they didn't get no fluid out of this thing. I'm getting tons of fluid. So, I think it's all loose. What I don't know is if water crosses over. I don't think it does, because that's an injector, so there ain't gonna be no water in there. I think the water rerouted through these little tubes crossing over from one to the other. So why the world they thought they wanted to connect that underneath right there? That's just dumb. You know what? I'm gonna connect this here and extend this hose up to stop that from leaking. That's my devious plan. I'm gonna work on that. Well, basically I filled up this thing with fluid, poured it back in there. That was a bad idea, because it literally went back down through the tube back into the engine and coming back out the hole. So I went and got a second bucket and we'll work that off of there. I recommend some gloves. About shanked myself pretty good pulling that off of there. You know, they get frozen and then all of a sudden, bam, they come off fast. I can't get that one off, so I'm just gonna pull that one off with the assembly there, go behind, and we'll take it off when we can get to it. So that's loose. I'm gonna work on, while this is draining, I'm gonna work on getting those loose. Okay, whilst prying on this to get this hose off, it picked up the whole damn thing. So it's already loose, that easy. So let me pull this hose off, and that'll get that up in the air where that won't leak anymore, or I can twist it around. Okay, so just elevating up that thing up a couple inches stopped that from flowing out. So there's nothing holding this in. The only thing I'm gonna have to work out is getting this up through that hole for that to come out. We'll cross our fingers, hope that don't have a return line or something. So let's jiggle it loose, see if it comes out. Okay, that's not gonna be an up close view. At least I can run that camera. I gotta pull this piece through there, and I gotta pull this out. There's really nothing holding this in there. If I had that thing kicked back a little bit, we got this piece. We got our water thing leaking back there a little bit. I want to break that line, and it's not cooperating. Okay. Uh-oh, gasoline coming out. All right, there it is. This is the side I was suspecting leak. It's weird shiny material. Really nothing going on that I can see. Oh, that's the injectors. Look at how sticky those son of a guns are. That's kind of crappy, isn't it? I don't know if I can clean those up or try to take them out and clean them. Those are nasty. Look at all that goo. It's just like tar. Nope, radiator fluid leaking out. Let's turn this to the up position to stop that. You know, I would suspect those spots, especially that one right there. Those were shiny. That one's not. Look at this one, all sticky too. So the reason why we got in here was these are notorious for malfunctioning. Ooh, You know what? I didn't buy that new harness. They talked about putting, oh yeah, it came with the new harness. So that's the piece the harness is hooked on. So we're gonna get this cleaned up. Hopefully that come with a new harness. And we're gonna get all the dirt out of here. Clean this up. Don't want chunks of doo-doo going down where our engine is. Sand. So let's get that cleaned up. I'm thinking now that I have this apart that it's not the gaskets, that's these injectors. I see 2 holes in that one. I see no holes in that one. So I bet these injectors plugged up. Can't tell whether that's 2 or 3 holes. Look at that. Oh, got 2 holes. So I guess if just scratching that out with my fingernail. Well, I accidentally plugged those holes. Wish I could test that or try to dissolve that before I look at that. I'm sure they were still working, but man, that stuff got in there. Alright, I took this out. Basically, you slide those up and you pinch this. Pinch that together, pull those off the top. So that's out. Then we can unscrew those, but I kind of want to clean this up. So I was trying to figure out what to get to kind of dissolve some of this goo. So I'm going to go with this penetrant first, and then we'll clean it with the brake clean. So basically I'm trying to just dissolve the dirt. First, I'm going to let that soak a few minutes, because this is just like dirt. Hopefully this penetrant stuff will soften that dirt up, and I can wipe it all off here and then dry it with the brake clean, and hopefully that'll get some of that stuff loose. That's going to go down in them cylinders. It won't be good for it, but I don't think it'll hurt it either. Don't want to get it down in there. Gonna have to clean that up a little bit. Clean that up. Won't get too crazy. I don't know if that's going to dissolve this stuff. There it goes. That looks like it's dissolving it. So I'm going to go get some gloves, some paper towels. I'm going to let that sit a minute or two, just to dissolve all that stuff out of there. And we'll wipe that off. When we get too carried away and loosen up some other gaskets, that'd be a mess. Alright, good enough. Let's let that sit a minute or two and we'll clean that up. Looks like it's, keep hearing thunder out there, so worried about that. But I want to clean up. We got some other projects. I'm going to go get some paper towels and wipe all that up before I leave. I started at 9:30. It was like 11:15, so it took me 2 hours with basic tool set. I didn't even use all these tools. Special tool there. Got the stuff. Put these back in the toolbox, put them inside the truck. And basically the only thing I have off is the radiator and those two pieces. Got the new wire set, that's good. The two new pieces. The gaskets that I'm not real impressed with. I think I like the plastic ones, but these look like they're aluminum or metal. So hopefully they'll work just fine.